Unbuttoned, a podcast where friends talk with friends about TV, movies, and books.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, welcome to Suspenders Unbuttoned podcast. We are excited to have Jax Collier as our guest today.
Hi, Jax.
Hi, Sarah. Hi, Julie. Thank you for having me.
We're so happy you're here. A big fan. I've been listening to you forever. You're like the queen of podcasts, in my opinion, for sure. And
well, thank you. I'm a fan of you guys, and it's funny because now we get to actually chat in person. Like it's funny. We have been chatting, but it's nice to actually get to see each other when we're conversing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, we're so happy. Let's get to the big stuff really fast.
Right.
You're a movie star now. How did this happen?
It is I don't think I can't stress enough how many random emails or things that I've sent where I've pick stitched me and Rachel Boston together, being like, oh, we look like sisters. Yeah. Oh, we look like cousins. Oh, does anyone want to put us in anything together? And this was truly, a complete wish and a dream come true, not to be cheesy.
No, not cheesy.
But it really was. Like, when I found out, what was actually kind of probably horrific for my fiance Alex is when I found out I got the part, I wasn't screaming. It didn't sound excited. It was like keening, wailing, sobbing. And I was in the bathroom when I found out. He, 5 minutes after I stopped crying, got myself together, and I was going to tell him the good news, he knocked on the door and he was like, is everyone all right? I just got horrible news, and I just came out I can't even talk about it now. I was like, I got it. And I was so happy. I was really it was really special, and I had the best time doing it.
We're so happy for you, and excited to see it. Tell us about your audition. So where did you have to go to audition?
So
not.
No, I did. So I had met, I had interviewed Brian Bird before, but we never met in person until I went to the When Hope Calls set. And he and his wife Patty, they were so welcoming, they were great. And they said, do you want to audition for this movie that we're doing? And I said,
yes.
Yeah. No standard. Yeah, I love the way Julie. I was more just like, totally. And what was really special about this, and I felt like I was a little girl again when my mom would help me with my auditions when I was a kid. My mom and my sister lives here, and you guys know her, but my mom was in town that day, and she was the one who read with me. Yeah, it was really special. And she was coaching me. And it was like when I was a little kid again, she was like, don't do it like that.
and she was right.
She was right. She's like, so that wasn't your best. Do it again. And then, so it was really special that my mom, when I was little, got to coach me for the audition, and then I sent it in a few days later, found out that I got the part, and then a few days later I left. So it all happened really fast.
So that was my question. So how many days from the time you found out till you left?
So I remember the dates because I knew when my mom was coming to town. I think I auditioned on the 15th, maybe found out on the 20th, and I guess it was 10 days later. So I had a little bit of time. I think I left on the 1st or something.
Okay.
But it felt fast.
No, that's fast.
Yeah.
Fast. Yeah. Jack, you were mentioning when you were a kid and your mom was helping coach, and we know that you do theater. Tell us when you started that and how that happened and did you grow up in New York, or did you move to the city, or tell us?
So I definitely always wanted to live in the city, but I grew up in a really small coal region town, Mount Carmel, Pennsylvania. We literally I'm coal miner's granddaughter. Like we didn't really have access to theater where we were, but then they started a community theater in my town. And Sarah, I was so bad at sports. And my mom and my dad were basketball coaches. My brother and my sister played on the teams they coached. I was so bad that I couldn't even make the starting lineup, even though my own parents coached the team. They were like, let's try and get her into something
else. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you both have kids. You're like, what are their strengths? What are their weaknesses? There was a little trouble early on figuring out what I was good at because I'm not coordinated. So really, she likes to talk and she likes to sing around the house a lot. Maybe she'd like to do theater. And my first play was called The Best Christmas Pageant Ever.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Mm-hmm.
And I was with my dirty herdman kids.
Yes, it's awesome. That's a great play, by the way.
Funny, and it's actually so sweet and heartwarming.
Yeah,
it's a really.
I don't know it. Now I need to find like a school that's putting it on.
Yeah.
Honestly, you and your kids would probably love it because it's these kids who don't have any Christmas spirit, and then they are thrown into this Christmas pageant. And these 5 kids who I think they're not only are they poor, but I don't think their parents are around, and they discover like the true meaning of Christmas. It's actually really sweet.
I'm just realizing I actually directed a Christmas play for elementary school, and I can't remember the name of it.
Okay.
Santa's Rocking Christmas Eve, I think it was, or that was a big song.
So this sounds actually kind of similar. Wait, so you've directed a kid's play?
Yeah, I was teaching in the school. I taught kindergarten, and then I ended up putting on like the elementary
Christmas play.
Musical play. Like, I don't know how that happened, but it was fun.
What is so funny about that is there is a character in Best Christmas Pageant Ever that is this really sweet teacher that she's the only one that like believes in the Herdman kids, but she gets stuck directing the Christmas pageant and she doesn't want to. And then she's like, okay. And then so it's actually really funny. I've never directed a Christmas pageant for kids, but I imagine that there's a lot of, it feels like herding cats, but it's wonderful too.
Yeah, when it comes together at the end.
We taught Sunday school for years, and so we were doing the classic Sunday school Christmas pageant for years. A lot of herding cats.
Can I ask a follow-up about that, Julie? Yeah. Is there okay, do kids get mad? They're like, I want to be Mary. I want to be Joseph.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Or who gets to sing or say the lines, and, and depending on the child, what they want to do. We have 3 kids who are exactly the same and completely different, if that makes any of this.
Yes.
The guts are the same, but the way they outgo is completely different. Our oldest is an engineer, and he could do all the lines, but really he just wants to be in the back, okay?
He's like, I've got it up here.
If you need help, prompt with your lines, like he's got them all, right? He knows all the songs. He's incredibly musical, crazy good trumpet player, but don't stand him in the front, in the middle, right? And then right? He will prompt you through everything. He will be there on time when he's 6, right? And then our daughter is this beautiful introvert who is the same, but won't prompt you either because she's not going to fit. But she knows what all the lines are. She is now perfectly and wonderfully a first grade teacher. Yeah. K through 8 science certified, loves all that junk, but does first graders, right? And then and then we have the song and dance man.
That's like, well, and then you're like, that balance is kind of nice because you're like, if you have 3 song and dance men or 3 song and dance women, that's a lot in one house.
And a lot of competition, probably. Like,
right? We just have one. I feel like you are our third child. You're the song and dance man. Saying you say everywhere. Everything was a show. All the world to me is a stage.
It was so funny because it was like, it was so extreme, and I feel like this is how I am now. It was like I was either, and I think this is true because I'm an ambivert. Like I'm really either introverted extrovert or extroverted introvert, and so it's either like I'm like really outgoing, or when I'm recharging, I'm like really quiet and like love. So when my brother and my sister were growing up, they're much more like even all the time. So like I would be really loud and like, let's play, let's do everything. And then I would go in my room and I'd be really quiet, or like they'd be playing basketball and I'd be like sitting and watching, but I'd be reading a book. And I think we're so close, but I think they were so similar growing up in the way that they played with each other and the way they socialized, that I think sometimes it was funny because I would really be, let's talk about everything and let's hang out, and then I'd be really quiet, but I want them to be around me. But
that's it. That he our youngest needs his liked his siblings around him. He preferred to nap on the sofa to this day with everyone around him, and then can sleep really hard.
Right. He wants to be around.
I'm the exact same. We sound like we're kindred. What is his name?
I need to introduce you.
I know. Well, you should follow him on TikTok.
I will.
Yes,
he's on TikTok. Famous.
Oh my gosh, I will absolutely follow. I'm still figuring out TikTok. So
he's TikTok successful. He has a teacher TikTok. He's a new high school choir teacher. Just opened directing his first play ever this weekend because he's young and brand new. And
what play is it?
They did the 25th annual Putnam County Spelling Bee without edits. It's a very large high school in the Twin Cities, and so.
Okay, good for them. That's a good show.
It was good. The kids were amazing. It allowed, they've not done plays for 2 years, and so he's this very undeveloped group of kids, and kids aren't in it right now. So it was a good way to roll them in, and they just came out strong and swinging. It was great. But his TikTok is his kind of a choir teacher TikTok, and he's young and cool. But he has like 38 or 39,000 followers. He's got one with 4.9 million views.
Oh my gosh. Okay, will you DM it to me or send it to me?
I can even announce it because
what is it?
TikTok. Mr. Palmquist, like Palm PALMQUIST. Josh Palmquist. It's a high school teacher TikTok. It's pretty funny. His big one is 9th grade boys singing the Backyardigans kids song, Castaway.
I love a teacher TikTok because your kids can do that. I just think it's so much fun too. And I love that it's that accessibility.
Right.
We can kind of peek behind the curtain. Like my choir teachers were always people I was like really obsessed with.
Yeah.
And if they had TikTok now or had TikTok back then, I really would have had no friends because I was always trying to like hang out with my choir teacher, but we didn't have that like accessibility. And then it was like years later, she's like, you don't have to call me Mrs. Roscoe anymore. You can call me Nicole. And I was like, I can't.
Right. He started it the end of October. So 1 year ago, exactly, when they were about to switch from hybrid to distance learning. And his kids were like, you should start a TikTok. And he did the first one in the classroom. And it's like failing the student who killed me in Among Us, the video game.
Yeah.
And then he goes, it's super cute. That's his first one. And they thought he might get a few hundred views. And, 9,000 views later. And so that's how it started. He's had it about a year.
Because they know, like the young people know how to TikTok. Like it's
yeah.
Like
and I love that you say young, like you're old or something.
I know.
But what is amazing that is funny though is like I'm talking like young.
Oh,
yes.
Really, and I mean this in a way like sometimes there is like a generational gap with things where it's like, oh, and people can be dismissive of things. I actually think it's so amazing because rather than it being even different than Instagram or Facebook that like we're all familiar with, it's this thing of like it is actually about content creation and sharing, and how beautiful is that? Like they're learning how to create content, and it's not just about Instagram is this only, because I think it's actually a great way to connect. Like I wouldn't have connected with you guys initially other than that, but Instagram started as a more, I would say, superficial platform.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
Less so now because we can do the chats and then we meet and then we connect. But TikTok doesn't, to me, feel as superficial. It's actually people being more raw and real. I mean, because there's a filter on, but
right. The content is a lot. The range is so huge, and they're not afraid to jump into topics that even somebody just a few years older than them is afraid to jump into. They will just hit it head on and they don't care. And I do like the rawness of that. I also love how like quickly he could connect with his kids by making content like that. And he's had a few that have gone pretty viral, and the kids so excited to see that go viral. But like we live in the Twin Cities. We were, I think, at DSW at Mall of America, and totally he got like, you're the TikTok guy.
Oh, no way.
So kind of funny.
That is funny.
Like, Mall of America was for me and my sister the dream vacation destination when we were kids, and I didn't get to go until I was an adult, and I was doing a play and I was on tour, and I begged the guys that I was with, because it was just me and guys. I was like, guys, it has literally been my dream since I was 5 to go to the Mall of America, and I've never been. So I love the fact that you say Mall of America like it's this is regular.
Also, in Minnesota, we don't say Mall of America, just as so you know. MOA.
I've never been.
Never been. Okay. Well, I feel good. I mean, at least I feel good that it's not just like, you know, everyone in the world gets to go but me all the time.
That's like the normal spot. Catherine lives like 3 minutes from there, so our behind the scenes gal. So
she's probably like all MOA'd out.
Like, whatever. Did you get to ride some rides?
Oh, heck yeah. I went on the roller coaster.
Yeah. I like the roller coaster there.
Was there a Door Explorer ride years ago or something? Yeah. Yep, I did that one. That's like the year that I was there. Door is probably gone now.
No, it might still, because it's, well, I don't know. I think it's Nickelodeon. See, here's the other problem. Like, we still call it Camp Snoopy because it was Camp Snoopy in the middle. And then they changed it. I think it's actually Nickelodeon Universe, but really we just said going to Camp Snoopy.
All you need, speaking of Snoopy, all you need, I'll bring it in. I'm within reach.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, perfect.
I love Snoopy. He likes
Speaking of snooping.
He's always
Speaking of snooping. How did that happen? How did you get on the set of When Hope Calls?
Okay, so this is funny. I'd be way cooler to say that I was invited. Yeah, but the truth, obviously, you just can't, like, you guys know this, and everyone knows this. You can't just, like, show up. But it's not like I received the invitation. I did email, I had met at the Dollywood premiere, and I think at TCA's when I worked for Hallmark, I'd met Brad Kervoy, who does a bunch of the movies.
Yep. Yeah.
He's such a nice guy. And, you know, I had been saying, like, oh, I hope at some point I get to work with you, or I hope at some point I get to be in a movie, or I love following what you do and everything like that. So I had completely, I say randomly, it's not like it was random. It was that I knew I wanted to be involved in things, but I said, hey, I'm really excited. I see that this is filming. Is there anything I can do to be involved, or is there any way I can visit the set? I would say 25 minutes later, he emailed and said, if you want to come, you can come this weekend.
Oh,
wow.
And
you're like,
the only time I could, it happened so fast.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what was funny, and that I have no chill, and I'm not really that cool, but I think if I wanted to frame it in what might be a cooler way, I'd be like, well, I was invited to set, or it was I did invite myself, but they did say sure. And I think a lot of people, which I understand, because I would wonder too, oh, what are you doing there? A lot of people were like, are you developing a podcast? Are you in the show? And I was like, I mean, I love all of that, but no, I'm not really snooping. I'm allowed to be here, but also I kind of am snooping, because I did all the protocols that you have to for safety,
right.
The COVID test. I did all that. They knew I was there, but I didn't actually have. I didn't actually have a job.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You made the best job ever, though, because you made it up and you owned it. It was great. And the content that came out was so much fun. So much fun. Plus, Steven, how do you say his last name? Let me.
I hope I'm saying it right. Pagozzo. Yeah.
Pagozzo, yeah. See, he was a fun bonus. Tell me, who's Steven?
Okay, so this is another thing that's funny, that if I was watching it, I wouldn't believe it. I would have thought that he's really fun, charismatic, charming, good at his job. He is the assistant to another one of the producers there.
Okay. Yeah.
So it would have made perfect sense if, as an assistant to a producer, that someone would have introduced us and said, hey, show Jax around.
Right.
I said this on my stories, but they're also they live in my Instagram, but also I have a highlight where people can watch them if they still want to. But if people haven't, or they missed them, the story that I tell about how we met is again, what is funny is it's actually true and not a cultural story. Is that I was alone, and I was wandering to get to the orphanage, and it's actually a really cool set, because everything is pretty spread out. Okay. So it does feel like a town. Other sets I've been on, you walk onto it and you're like, oh, it's smaller than I thought, or it's just this, or it's you walk onto this and it actually feels pretty magical, because you feel like you're in the town.
Right.
So I walk around. I think I had been chatting with some of the background performers who were so awesome. And this one woman named Rose took me under her wing, because I think she was like, who is this lost baby bird, and what is she doing? So
lost
Rose
baby bird.
and her husband Mark, who do a ton of background stuff, for come and sit with us, have lunch with us. So we chatted for a while, and then I went off, and I'm walking towards the orphanage thinking I know I'm allowed here, but I'm not. I know they're filming somewhere else, but I don't know exactly where.
Right.
I know they're not filming the orphanage, so I don't think I'm going to get in trouble, but what's going on over here? And as I was walking over, and I'm wearing the dress, I'm trying to fit in, but I'm not an actor.
Yeah. Right.
And I'm in a mask, which is different. Like, actually, all the actors do wear masks when they're not filming, but clearly I wasn't a part of the crew, and I also wasn't an actor. So Stephen came over to me and was like, what do you do? And then I explained the situation. He said, cool. And then like kind of got in his radio to check with his boss, being like, she says this is who she is. And they confirmed and were like, oh yeah, no, we know who she is. You know,
so like you just got there and nobody was there to be like, you can do this today, or you can like watch over here, or we'll take you to, you just like showed up.
The funny thing about it is someone picked me up at the hotel. So that was great. Then the base camp of where the actors have the trailers and stuff is
where the circus is.
Yeah, and it's actually unique that it's so far away.
Okay.
So I came up and am I echoing? Am I okay? Okay, sorry, I just want to make sure. So I came up, and after Brad had said, oh, feel free to make yourself at home, he was pretty busy.
Right.
He was so kind. He's like, feel free, make yourself at home, like, welcome. So I was doing just that. And then that is when Stephen found me and we started chatting. And then he said, I'll take you on a tour later. And then that's when we got to do all the fun BTS
I love
stuff.
it.
Yeah. And then Brian and Patty were so gracious. Like they took me to lunch twice, like the 2 days I was there. And they were great about letting me snoop and showing me around. But they're like with Brian executive producing, obviously they're so busy and they're doing their jobs. And so what was cool is that Stephen was able to really take me behind the scenes where we knew I wouldn't be in the way.
But
Sheila says, invited guest reporting to thousands on her personal experience. Yeah.
Exactly. You took us to places that we wanted to see, that we knew were there. We've seen them before. It was fun to go into the Mercantile. I had to laugh because, before season 1, there was the whole 20-minute movie that Kevin McGarry took everyone through. He essentially did the same thing. I had to make an Insta story of you.
I laughed when you did that so hard when it was Kevin doing it and me. I was like, I love this.
I totally lined you guys up doing the exact same thing. It turned out really cute, actually. That was me. I have a problem with collaging pictures, so it had to be done.
All collages are done by Julie.
It's not a problem.
It was so good though. You and Kevin, and it was so crazy how similar they were. I was like, this is perfect. This is happening, right? So
it's one, I love that you did that, and two, I'm sorry, but there's something addictive about gumballs. Like you can't see it and not want to put your hand in there.
Touch them.
Also, the clear jar with the gumball, such a great photo on screen. It comes across so nice. I totally had to crop those in. And just that you were kind of doing the same thing kind of cracked me up, but they're just asking to have you go after them, right?
They really are. And you're like, these must be delicious.
There's a reason there's so many songs about kids in a candy store, right?
Yeah, right. It's bright and colorful.
Right now, I'm singing the JoJo Siwa one in my head.
JoJo with the bobo.
She's so good.
She is good.
We watched way too much Dance Moms because my daughter was a competitive gymnast and a dancer at that time. We saw way too much Dance Moms.
Yeah, we've never seen that because Liza was too little, but she got into the bows. And then my middle son started singing the song. So now my daughter, she's 11. So no, she's not cool anymore. We listen to Hamilton. We don't listen to JoJo Siwa, but my son still likes it. So I like that you're at the Hamilton level though. That's she knows every word to every single song. We're taking her in 2 weeks. They're coming to Providence.
We're jealous.
So I'm so excited.
Do you think she'll get really emotional? I get emotional when I go to the theater.
So the first time I went when they were touring, I don't know, a couple of years ago before COVID, I felt like I was teary-eyed and I didn't even know, like I hadn't heard the music, seen the story, like it was new, just like I'm like, let's just try to get a ticket. And we went. So I think she's been watching it for so long and she knows the story by heart. Like she corrects me all the time about it. Yeah. She knows the words. I think I'm going to cry watching her, and she's never been to a real big. I went to Aladdin, I think, but I think this is going to be like life changing. Like, she already takes piano and voice lessons, and she's a ballerina, and like Broadway's on her like her head at some point. So I think. Yeah, I'm gonna cry. I'm already gonna cry thinking about it.
I think there is something that is so special about seeing, and I don't have kids, but when I used to nanny, there were 3 different kids I took to their first show. And I mean, I can't even imagine that experience as a mom. And like you said, she's been to shows before, but this one is going to be different.
This is already a show, so like,
yeah, it's Hamilton.
Yeah, it's Hamilton.
And who can ever get through It's Quiet Uptown anyways without, right?
True.
You're going to be having, when are you going, in 2 weeks?
Yeah, I think that's why I'm only going to Christmas Con for Sunday, because Saturday we go to Hamilton, and I'm going to leave the show and drive to Jersey. Yeah.
So are your eyes going to be swollen from crying for her crying when I see you?
Probably, maybe not by the time I get there, since it's like 5 hours later. But I'll probably make my sister-in-law drive because my contacts will be all like nasty.
I know when they get like gummy and stuff. That's and
then dried out. So yeah. So whatever that weekend is, I can never remember what it is, but that's
10th, 11th, and 12th. I think.
Okay, I always want to say the 9th, but that's not even.
I think it's 10th, 11th, 12th.
Yeah.
Just because I just recently looked, because when we had Paul Green on the podcast, because I was looking to see what he was going to, because the baby is due like in days, but he's going to Christmas Con in 2 weeks. I'm like, what up?
And you best trust and believe I will be at that concert of his. Like, he's so good.
You'll have to like post some of it for us, because I won't be there.
Oh no, I definitely will. And then I'll see bright and early on Sunday.
Yeah. I'm just there for Sunday, and so far I only have a picture with Tyler booked. So I need to get on the rest of the stuff.
Yeah.
Figure out what to do.
But I mean, you've got yourself covered.
I do, and I'm gonna meet everybody at RamaCon, so like I feel a little bit less pressure. So I'm like, maybe I should meet Paul, because I've had him on the podcast and he's not going to be there.
Yeah.
That's right, because he's not. So
So I'm gonna try to get it if he's available. He's probably booked, or Jack Wagner.
Yeah,
you gotta get my When Calls the Heart guys in, right? So.
I love Jack Wagner.
I love Jack Wagner too. I am the right age that
Julie had his poster on her wall.
I didn't. No, but I totally was the 80s music. I did all of high school, all of college, and part of pharmacy school in the 80s. That is how old I am.
So. But that's Jack Wagner. I mean, Jack Wagner is like prime. I mean, honestly, Jack Wagner's in his prime at every moment of existence.
Correct. But you're like Jack Wagner, right?
Yeah.
He's cool. He's so cool.
We're going to be at Rama Drama the entire weekend. You're going to be there the entire weekend too, right?
Yes, I didn't know you were going.
The entire weekend.
Just the other
whole time.
That's amazing.
I'm so excited. I think you guys were going before I was, so I'm really happy.
We've been going for a while. We had Gabrielle on our pod. She was one of our very early guests.
She was like our second guest,
with Sarah, right?
Sarah was delayed. Like she was sitting on an airplane, so it ended up just being Gabrielle. And it was fun. She was great.
Yeah, she was great.
Amazing.
She's Sarah without an H, or Sarah with an H.
She's without, yeah.
I
noticed those things.
It was so fun to meet her and have her on the podcast. And she has, I just have a lot of respect for her. I love a great story. I love supporting a businesswoman, running a small business. Essentially, they're running a small business, and those guys are doing like everything right to run a small business. And I just love and chatting with her and caring about her program was a lot of fun.
Right.
They're so much fun. And that's another thing about this community that I love, that it is so female led. Chad, still love you though if you're here.
Chad,
Jim,
probably still is.
Here.
Yep.
Chad's here. Yep.
It's just great that I feel like it is such a supportive, loving community that is very often female led, which is great because that's rare a lot.
Right. And we love supporting some of those ventures and stuff. And even like when we've had Paul and Andrew on our podcast, we want to make sure that they get to talk about Paul's music or Andrew's business ventures, and just to support them. That's been so nice that they've supported us too. And so it's great making those connections.
I've been drinking his juice, Andrew Walker's Little West juice. Uh-huh. And I mean, Paul knows, because the 2 years ago, Christmas Con, I was there like CD in hand, like at 11:30 after the concert when everyone was gone. I was like, "Would you sign this?" He was like, "You're being weird." He's like, "Yeah, of course I'll sign it," because he's so nice. He's
right.
Thank you. I think he was like, "Why are you acting so dweeby?" Because I was like,
he's like, "You've interviewed and met like all the Hallmark stars." No,
right.
It's so weird about this. It's so different in person. I think sometimes though it's interesting, and like that was 2 years ago too, and then in person also feels different. And I feel now even in person will feel different because of COVID. I've just been around less people this year.
Right.
It's almost like the social awkwardness that sometimes I feel just as a human in the world is now like magnified after.
I totally understand. Yeah.
Do you get that? Like, even though it's like, it's great and you're having a good time, you're thinking like, was that weird? Am I okay?
Oh yeah. I'm the type of person that will be like I could be up all night tonight. Like, did I say anything dumb? Did I, like I'll like replay everything. I'll admit, especially if I've had a glass or two of wine and then I go home and I'm like, what did I say? I'm an overshare. Did I talk too much? Like, and it's like all day. The next day, it's like in my mind, and I'm.
I'll bring you in at Rama Drama if so I'm not like that. I'm very outgoing, but I'm pretty. I mean, I'm very outgoing, but I work in a nerdy environment. I don't know how else to explain it. We move very fast. It's critical care. And because it's a children's hospital, pre-COVID, we would get superstars, whether it be sports or anywhere. Yeah. So music particularly all coming through.
You've got to tell Jax who you sang with.
Oh, it was singing with Journey. That is my band. But yeah, no, literally, we're
actually
sitting on the epilepsy ward, and
wait, what? That's how every good story starts.
I love them. I'm actually a pediatric intensive care unit pharmacist in critical care. So code team, trauma team, code team. That's my deal. Yeah. So numbers and stuff. But it's a children's hospital, so there's just this weird, it's a different vibe, right? So things just kind of roll by. It's like, okay, Journey's here and they're setting up on the epilepsy unit, and Jonathan Kane is on like this absolutely horrid keyboard from the Child Life Zone. The Child Life Zone donated by Garth Brooks, who that's another story. Because I have the photo shaking his hand too.
Does he have a good handshake? I feel like
he's got a great handshake. So, and he stopped to talk to everyone. He did 11 shows at the Target Center in Minneapolis, and at St. Paul Children's, the Child Life Zone is donated by Garth Brooks and Troy Aikman. They have this foundation that donates Child Life Zones. Ours is spectacular. So he was there to see that while he was doing his 11 concerts. But yeah, so that was that. He's lovely, great handshake, so kind. But the Journey guys, literally, Jonathan Cain, who wrote, Don't Stop Believing, like you name it, he wrote it. He's at the keyboard, and then the other guys, Ross Valkyrie, who plays bass for them. Okay, Journey's my band, so let's just start with that. They got cornhole set up on the side. They're playing with the families and the kids. Cornhole. Well, Jonathan Cain's just pounding out on this super bad keyboard, and people are just singing at the top of their lungs. So
are they also really good at cornhole? Like, is that just something they're good at?
So crazy good. In fact, Jonathan Cain goes, what you hear about touring and the reality of touring is actually cornhole.
Yeah, they have a lot of time.
Just a lot of time standing by their giant motorhomes, and you pull the cornhole out from underneath, and you just
you think it's all risque and like drugs and rock and roll, and really it's a lot of cornhole.
A lot of cornhole.
Jonathan Cain's wife is a pastor.
I feel like that could be a tagline, like.
Right.
It's a lot of cornhole.
It's a lot of cornhole.
Hashtag a lot of corn, something like that.
Right. Yeah.
I totally agree. Like, people are like, tell us the behind the scenes stories of tour life. And they're like, I mean, yeah.
No, those guys were great. Doobie Brothers were warming up for them, and so they came the day before.
The Doobie Brothers are great too.
Yeah. No, it's just fun. Like, right, the people that you can walking through. So I have like this different perspective. So we were talking about meeting everybody and how that will be. And I always say, are they breathing? Do they have a pulse? Then we're fine.
Those are the only things that matter to Julie.
Yeah, it's
I will not get starstruck. I'm just making sure people stay alive. Is
right. CAB is the order: cardiac, airway, breathing. Do we have CAB? Then we're fine. Everybody relax and enjoy themselves. If we don't have CAB,
I'm going to be like, Julie, go say hi. Go say hi. Yeah, no, I'm not that. I don't have any celebrity experience.
Send out messages on Instagram. Here she's like, come on our podcast.
That's different. And it's worked.
It's worked great.
Twice.
No, but that is what's so cool about these platforms, and about just Dara's here too. Hi, Dara.
Dara's back.
Yeah.
Oh, me too. Yes. I'm super weird like that, Dara. Yes.
It's so great to have these platforms where you can connect with people that you wouldn't normally connect with otherwise, or you wouldn't have access to, or they wouldn't have access to you. And I think about that as the cool thing about what is happening. Like we were saying earlier with TikTok, like creative spaces now, it's growing how we're able to interact like that. Right. Oh, that is funny. Sheila said Julie's job is to make sure Sarah has CAB at Rama Drama.
100%. 100%. Yes.
It's true. So when we see you, you'll be like CAB.
Are we all good?
Then we're good.
My husband's like, they're just people with cool jobs. And I'm like, oh, yeah, totally. That's why, I'm fine. I'm kidding.
We'll be fine.
I'm so excited. Tell me, before all the hour is over, tell us about your game night at Christmas Con and the bundle game and all that fun stuff.
Well, I know you know the 90s edition.
Yes. I haven't played it, but I own it.
Yeah, but it was the cutest photo you sent me of you like rocking. So, yes, bundling it up. We're doing a 90s game night. Not a 90s game night. Actually, no. For 90s Con, if they want us to do one, we'll do one. I'm just letting I've not said this.
With like the entire TGIF lineup.
Yeah. By the way, this is not an announcement, and I have not.
No, we're just throwing it out there so that maybe they'll call you. Send her a message.
Into the universe, it could happen. Right?
Wouldn't that be funny? It's like, oh, she said that. And it's like, oh, no, I just got confused. But also, I would like to do that too, girls, by the way.
I'm sure they're not listening to our podcast.
Maybe. We'll send it to them.
We'll tag them. Catherine, make that a clip.
Somebody like, I'm doing this. No, I'm not. I'd love to. Yes, at Christmas Con, we are doing a celebrity game night with Tyler Hines, Ashley Williams, and Aaron Cahill, which
wow.
It's a nice lineup.
It's gonna get rowdy in the best way. I'm sorry, like these three, Ashley is such a trickster and so mischievous. Aaron is hilarious. And Aaron I know really well. Ashley I know really well. And Tyler, like, is cool, but Tyler and I have never, like, we've chatted on the podcast, we've like chatted on Instagram, but actually in person at TCAs, I don't even think we really met. So I've not actually been like really with Tyler Hines. We'd all like to be with Tyler Hines, but
we need to get a lot of pictures of you and Tyler Hines.
But I think he also is going to be, I think the three of them together, and my sister will be there. And my sister loves Aaron and Ashley, and also her boyfriend loves Letterkenny, which I don't.
Oh, perfect.
Oh, perfect.
I've never seen it, but I have to. Yeah.
But he was saying to her, "Oh, wait, what? The dude from Letterkenny and your game night?" So he was trying to process. But I think the three of them, Aaron and Ashley, know each other well too. But I don't think they know Tyler as well. And I'm like, that is going to be the own little trifecta dream team that people are going to be like, those three need to do movies together or something, because they are going to be so funny in our game night. But the cool thing is that we're doing it so that it's Cassie and I are hosting it. My sister, that we have Bundle. Bundle is a personalized game company that I started with my sister. We make really custom games for any occasion, but then we also made a Hallmark Channel game, our One Calls Heart game, our 90s edition, and we're doing a special game for Christmas Con. And we're not playing with them. We're just hosting, and that way the people in the audience get paired up to actually play the celebrity, so they will come on stage. And if you don't get picked to come on stage, it's still a game where audience participation is really heavy. So we will have like the audience, so say Tyler was with Julie and Ashley was with Sarah and Aaron was with me, and we're all on stage, 6 of us together. We'll divide the audience into 3 little areas, and everyone will be like yelling things out and having fun and feeling like, we'll be a part of it. So it's going to be a really, really fun night. And then the tree lighting that night, I'm definitely going to as well, because that's going to get really fun with Jonathan Benefit. Jonathan Benefit. I'm not even drinking, you guys. Jonathan Bennett. It was so great. And I think Jen Lilly and Joel Wagner are doing that. I forget who did that too.
Fine.
So this game, it's a new version that you made just for Christmas Con.
So we'll be selling the holiday edition there, and this is a riff off of the holiday edition. But because we do have our 3 celebrities, there will be a few questions that are special for Christmas Con that are particular to things that they have done.
Okay, perfect. Super fun. That's super fun. People are going to love that. And then if people want to buy a bundle game, how can they find that?
Oh, thank you for asking. And my sister will thank you too, because my sister is always the person. She is like the business man. Yeah, exactly. It's they can go to www.thebundlegame.com, or they can go, our Instagram is @thebundlegame. And then also on my bio on Instagram @Jacqueline Collier, I have a link to thebundlegame.com. Yeah. Oh, Sheila wants to know, Tyler and his toothpick. Can you provide toothpicks for yourself, Ashley, and Aaron, so you all match in the pictures?
That needs to happen.
So actually, I will do that. And that's a really, really good idea.
I feel like you need like custom. Do they make custom toothpicks? Like,
Well, now that
You can put like bundle game on it or something.
I think actually now you telling me that, I feel like I want to get one. Like
I feel like I could
we have
craft you one.
on it. Yeah.
He's gonna craft. You're gonna whittle it.
No, I just would put a little like tag on it from my cricket. I can bust out my cricket and make you.
Well, you should make them for Rama Drama and bring it to her. Yeah, but you could get like the plastic ones that all match. That'd be cute.
Oh, like the that's
like the reusable toothpick.
Yeah.
Yes.
I feel like my dad had one. It's kind of gross.
I know.
Oh, it's in the pocket knife. Have you ever seen like the little one in like a Swiss Army knife? Yeah.
In the Swiss Army knife. My husband maybe doesn't have. He does have one of those in his pocket right now. I'm just gonna tell you that.
I have it on my keychain. My dad gives me one every year for Christmas.
I totally think Tyler Hines also probably has one of those.
He should. Yeah, it's very fits his
for sure
persona. Yeah.
Yes, it's very his persona.
It's very from what he shows us on Instagram. To me, that should belong in his pocket.
I agree, and I feel like he shares seems very authentic. I mean, I guess there's no. I think that's what's interesting too. By authentic, I mean like this is what's cool about social media, and I don't think it's always even like authentic versus inauthentic. Like I think some people curate things in a way that maybe isn't them at all, but I actually think that's rare. I think some people just choose certain parts of their life. I think that's okay to like choose and then keep other parts. But what I think is great about the community that we're all in is I think that all these people are very authentic and that it's not this curation that makes it real. You know what I mean?
We in our very small limited encounters that we've had so far, I feel like you're spot on. Like like what you see is what you like. When we talked to Paul and Andrew, it's like I kind of knew their personalities already just from following them, and it matched. It felt
it
didn't feel like you were talking to somebody you didn't know. You know?
And I think what's interesting about that is when that happens in real life, and not even like on a celebrity level, but just like if you perceive someone to be a certain way based on what they show on social media and then you meet them, or even when I was like online dating and that would happen, I remember how jarring it was. And I know some of that was just me being like, oh, you're my perfect person. I'm projecting all this onto you. So it wasn't that they were misrepresenting. I probably just, was like they're Jack Wagner in my head, and then it's like
they're not.
It's not. But I think it's interesting that I do feel like in this community there's so much authenticity. We've
only been around a very short period of time, and we only jumped in with Instagram first because Sarah decided to one day, and she's like, "We have an Instagram now." We were at
password login.
That's the exact way to do it, though. Like that's awesome. Like that you just were like, "We're doing it." Like that is.
She literally is like, "Julie, start posting
collage."
Yeah, exactly.
That is exactly what she's like.
Just post like her collages and are over analyzing, season 8 of When Calls the Heart. So that's how it started. It was an accident. It was a fun thing. Like we would be in a group chat with me and Julie, and then Gabby, Salima, and Cinda, and I'm home all day because I am a mom and I'm home with my kids. I homeschool one of my kids, and so I have like. They're outside playing, and that's when I'm on Instagram, like I don't need to play with them anymore unless they want me to, but they usually don't. So anyway, I was just like, let's start an Instagram account.
She's like, Julie, start posting, literally. And that's how we started. And our original name was one way, and we made a change to broaden it out a little bit. We were HV Suspenders at first, and then we wanted to broaden out, let ourselves be unbuttoned a little bit. Right. And so, but literally we've only been, did you make that in April?
I think it was April.
I think what's so great about that is I like when you're talking about with Rama Drama, and like, it's the same with Christmas Con, how they were these women who just decided to do a thing. It's like, instead of overthinking, like, oh, do I do the Instagram? What do I do? And look, what do we post? And obviously it's curated. Like you said, there's analyzing and overanalyzing and all these things. But it wasn't that it took you half a year to be like, should we do this? Oh, we have to do this the right way. It's like, there's no right way to do anything.
Yeah.
It's to start is the right way.
And where we started isn't even close to where we are now. So it was just like, let's do it. Let's start it. I never thought I was going to have a podcast. I never thought I'd be talking to you on a podcast. I was listening to the Bubbly Sesh, like as I was doing this, probably had my AirPods in listening to you and Shaw. So like,
I listen on my way to and from work because I have a long drive. I drive 30 miles.
Yeah.
So, so, you know, the Twin Cities are big. I work downtown, so the hospitals are downtown St. Paul and Minneapolis, but I live in a northern suburb. So
that is long, though, and cold.
Not always, sometimes really hot. Welcome to Minnesota. It's, you know, it's legitimate to turn your air to heat to air to heat. That is
same here in Rhode Island. Yeah.
Yeah, same. So
I have the windows open and then the next day a fire. So
we're like, we don't know what's happening with the planet. So we just gotta like go to as many conventions and shows while we
in January, it will for sure be cold. So I will for sure be wanting to be down in Florida.
I'm happy to leave New England in January.
Yeah.
I think that is what's awesome about the timing of that and the location of that I think everyone was like, Florida in January.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll do it.
Yeah. You know, when we talked to Gabrielle and had her on the podcast, we both laughed because we felt like she had a better handle of our social media presence than we did. We get off on that. I feel like she knows more than we do.
Gabrielle is so great about being able to like see stuff and then see it for you and then make you feel like it was your idea. Like, I'm like, oh yeah, that sounds cool. Like, and then she's like, oh yeah, like you were saying. I'm like, I wasn't. I'm like, oh, sure, that can be my idea now. That sounds great.
Right. But I, you know, I love talking with her, and it was just like fun to like hear her little bits and pieces of it. As somebody who overanalyzes bits and pieces for a job, drawing in pediatric information and critical care there's not a lot out there. And so my job literally is to pull in bits and pieces. And so it was interesting to listen to her, and I would like to talk to her again about some of that stuff.
You're like taking notes. Things to talk to her about.
I think what's great about a creative endeavor like this is, as you guys know from raising children or from being a teacher or working in a pediatric care unit, like the stakes of what you guys do daily is a lot higher than like if something goes wrong on a podcast or online.
Right.
It's actually kind of nice that like, sure, we always want to be creatively at our best and like providing the best content and engaging with people. But at the end of the day, like we know that it's not a life or death situation.
A and B, right? We're good. You got C, A, and B, you're good. Cardiac, airway, breathing. Everything's bonus after that.
Jax, are you bringing the bundle game to Florida?
Yes. So we will be bringing the game to Florida, and hopefully we will have a special romance edition.
Ooh.
Fun.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say I'm going to bring my game in case we have time to like play.
Also get pictures of us in like side ponytails.
Sure. It's funny because I think I texted my friends that, and they were like, yeah, no, that's exactly what you looked like in high school. Like, my husband said the same thing. He's like, I don't know. I feel like you're 16 again. Like, this is weird.
You're like, thank you. Yeah. Okay. Good. I'm glad. Okay. Good. We're glad he feels that way. Good. He's got.
But he's known me all those years. So like,
it's funny when you think about that too. Right now, I'm feeling oddly emotional because I was watching Dash and Lily. Have you guys ever seen it?
Yeah.
This is my first time. Sheila, by the way, if you're still here, I'm almost through. And I was like, oh my gosh, this kid is so cute. I hope the actor's not 17. Actually, and then I Googled him, he's 25, and I feel fine.
Fine. There you go. There you go. Right?
Yeah.
Whew.
I know. It is kind of weird now watching these movies, and I'm like, I could be their mom.
Like Timothy Chalamet, what? But then you're like, he's 28. Like, we're okay. Like, it's not, I just feel better when they're playing teens, and then you're like, please, please, please don't let them actually be a teen.
Yeah, right.
Right.
I think that's why, like, I always have loved Hallmark because the actors are more my age, and I feel like I'm older than a bunch of them, but it's
younger
not
than a bunch too.
A weird thing. Like, I'm not like crushing a 19-year-old or something, like.
Yeah, that's what's interesting too, because like it was funny. Like, it is funny with that because you realize that, I think, because a lot of Hallmark and Lifetime and different spaces like that pull from like nostalgic from like our childhoods.
Mm-hmm.
So it is nice that it feels, although what I think is funny is like when we did the engagement plot, Trevor's mom, the woman who's playing Trevor's mom, looked, so young that I was like, oh, and also in person, she was like, just, like completely like flawless. I don't want to say flawless. I don't think wrinkles are flaws, but like she looks so young in person that I think on set, someone on the crew said something like, oh wait, who's playing you? And I'm like, oh, she's playing Trevor's mom. And they were like, she's playing his mom. Totally works in the movie, but she's just like a very young, vibrant woman. It's just, you're like, oh, but it's nice that it's not, like you said, someone who's 21 that you're crushing on. It's someone that is more of a contemporary age that we can feel okay about it.
Exactly. 100%. Because I always have to look it up. I'm like, okay, I'm only 3 years older than them, or I'm only like, if it's right, if Google's right.
Sometimes I'm old enough to be their mom, though. Like, when Kayla Wallace's birthday was up on Halloween.
Oh yeah.
When she was 28, I'm like, she's 28.
You're like, let me do the math. Let me do.
No, I didn't even have to do the math because she's exactly 5 months younger than my oldest.
Okay, so for you, you're like, your kids.
Literally,
that was easy.
3 kids in 3.5 years, and she would fall between the first and the second.
You did 3 and 3.5 years?
Oh, yeah. Well, I was working at the hospital.
She's like super woman.
They're super close together, and I wouldn't change a thing. Other than college was a little rough. That was right.
Yeah.
But no, they're still super close. It's kind of fun. They're literally 3.5 years from top to bottom. I had 2 planned ones, had them in May, had the summers off.
That's like a teacher would do.
Yeah,
right. Exactly. It's that bonus child that was due on Christmas.
The bonus child.
I love that you said bonus child.
Oh, no, for sure. That would be our song and dance man too, for sure. The bonus child. Right. I got to go to plays this weekend. He's got this successful TikTok.
Like, you know what? He's like, I'm bonus in a big way.
Yeah,
Yep. He's never apologetic. Never apologetic.
And he shouldn't be.
Exactly. Well, that's good too. That's even how you framed it too, though, because instead of framing it in a way, it's like, no, you were our excitement. Like, that's exciting. You're a bonus baby, not like we didn't want you.
No, my daughter always points out that she's stuck in the middle of the 2 boys, and that they're opposite and the same. And it really is, because the oldest one's an engineer, right? The other one's a theater singing guy, right? But they are the same, and they regularly. Our oldest lives in Iowa, where he's an engineer and a farmer. And, right?
That's cool.
Yeah, he has his wife's family has a large classic Iowa farm that is beautiful and super cool, and so he's there. Plus, he's an engineer down there. But the two boys, and then we have Song and Dance Man, who is a choir teacher and doing all the theater stuff, right? And they'll walk in the door and kick off their shoes, and they have the same shoes. It's
like nature nurture both. You're like, I guess even though you like turn out somewhat differently, you're actually at your core, there's so much that is the same.
No,
I love it.
Yeah, no, I love that they love that. So I feel like you're like our third child, but then you're kind of like your siblings too. Like when you were explaining yourself, I was like, totally get that.
It's funny that you say that because we're also like in a very like we're all 16 months apart, so we're all like, squished in.
Yep.
I mean, gosh. I don't
Sarah,
think
how far apart are your kids?
Well, my oldest is 11, and then she was 2.5 when my middle guy was born. He's going to be 9 at the end of January. That feels weird. And then my baby's 4. He just turned 4 September 11th.
Oh, that's a nice. I feel like what's cool about that too is that you maybe got that baby fever that you could then be like, oh, it's nice and different to have a newborn again when you actually had the newborn. You know,
she has baby fever again.
I do, but I do not want another baby. But Gabby's not here because she's on maternity leave. Really, she had a baby like about a month ago, so I get lots of newborn pictures DM'd.
Yeah,
and I'll be like, oh, yeah, no.
She drops those little baby pics into our little chat, and you're just like, oh. I get to see the babies at the hospital like literally every day. So.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I love babies, but I get nervous until they're 6 months old. And that's, I'm like, I give them to me when they're 6 months.
No, that beginning stage, well, it's hard as a mom, but as a baby, like that's when you go out, like well, the world is a little different right now, but like we'd take the little seat, put them in my wrap, and we would go do things because they sleep.
They can't run away. They can't run away.
And they eat. So
when I had my third one and I'm at the hospital where I work and was covering those postpartum floors at that time, the children's hospital, adult hospital had one pharmacy at the time. So I actually covered there all the time, which was great. But I had my third one. It's 30 below zero. There's no husband staying over because I got a 3-year-old and a 1.5-year-old at home. So he's going home. So it's just me and the baby, and he's laying in the isolette. I'm like, this is like, I'm like up. I've got things picked up in my room. I've got my order there. Then one of my best friends on the postpartum floor, she comes in and she looks at me and she's just like, "You're bored."
We went home. I went home like 7 hours after I had my third. I was like, I got things to do. Let me home. And they're like, as long as you come back in the morning and do like the screenings, newborn screenings, you can go home. I'm like, okay. Like, I mean, we were checked out. We were healthy. That's why we were able to go. But yeah.
But you were just like, I gotta get moving.
Yeah, I got 2 kids at home. One has special needs. Like, I don't need to be out of the house unless I have. Yeah,
I stayed there for 2 days on purpose just so that they could look at him. He was a little junky when he was born.
My other 2, we had to stay for a reason, but this one, he checked out.
But he was fine, and you're just like hanging out there. She was just laughing. She goes, dude, I like literally needed some video. I needed a smartphone. There was no smartphone at the time. I needed something, man.
You had no Netflix binge.
That's what now you're just like, I think about it too, how like superhuman women are, that it's like you have a life, you create a life, and then instead of like, you know, even taking time to rest right after, it's like, all right, I'm back in it. Let's go.
It's a little bit my personality too. Sarah and I both are on too late and too early on the chat. So
yeah.
That actually could be the title of another podcast you would do. Too late, too early.
Too late, too early. So if we need another name change, we know what to do.
We changed our chat.
A whole network of podcasts.
Right?
I love it. Oh, Jax, I know you have to go.
Right.
Do you have time for a quick this or that game?
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah, totally.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we call it suspenders or buttons because we have to.
Right.
So let's start. with this one, wedding planning or honeymoon planning?
So it's okay. So I pick what I think is more fun to plan or what I have planned.
Oh no, it can be like whatever you prefer. That's fine. What's your favorite?
Honeymoon.
Yeah. I
Agreed.
Are you not into the wedding planning?
We haven't done anything.
Okay. So my mom is a girly girl. My daughter is a girly girl. I am not a girly girl, and I couldn't run away from wedding planning fast enough. But
I loved planning.
Okay, my mom's a wedding planner.
The knot.com had just kind of come out because I've been married 15 years now. So that was like this new thing, and Pinterest wasn't a thing, so like you had to search the forums for people
to like do it.
Yeah, it was not easy, and I did think about being a wedding planner, but now no.
Yeah, my mom was the wedding coordinator at our church. She literally, we came home and said we were engaged. She opened the book and we were in the book.
I like the way you're like, all I had to do was speak it. And it was like,
it was good.
I walked away, and her and her friend, they would be giving me all these options. And I was like, yeah, no. I just like walked away.
Whatever you want, Mom.
I have a beautiful wedding dress in the closet, right kitty corner over here, though, because my daughter's wedding dress is hanging there. So,
oh, really?
Yeah, it's stunning.
I almost asked you to show us, and I was like, no, that would be horrific because if someone saw it.
Right. No, but maybe when we go off, if you hang on for a second, I can grab it.
Yes, because I've never seen it yet.
Yeah, I want to see it.
Okay. That was our first question. Move on to the next one. Let's see. Dress up or dress down?
Oh, that's really I'm gonna say dress down, but in really bright colors.
Okay, yeah, I like that. I like that.
I'm dressed down right now, but like it's like a bright color.
You're still pretty noticeable.
Yeah.
Is that why Joshua likes orange and bright blue?
Exactly, that's what it is. It's like he can still be dressed down, but he's dressed up.
Right.
Or lit up. Okay, this one I probably know: live theater or movie theater.
Live theater. Yeah.
For sure.
Wait, I feel. Oh yeah.
Did you lose him?
No, I got him.
Lifetime
or
Netflix movies, Christmas movies.
Okay. Netflix only because I'm but really behind this year in all the movies, and I'm like, guys, there's so much, and we're so lucky, but there's so many networks, and I've had to watch certain ones for podcasts I've guested on, and I've not seen enough of the Lifetime, although I'm super excited about Reba, all these things. But I'm gonna say Netflix just because I'm familiar with it. But Lifetime, I love what they do. I just want to say that.
But right now you're just into Netflix.
Right.
Yeah. Sheila wants to remind you that you just planned a joint bridal shower with Brittany. And I did hear it, so
we were on. I was on vacation.
Will you come to the bridal shower?
Oh, I'm coming.
Well, I think that what was funny too was that we planned that because Britt and I are like so bad at planning everything else. We're like, well, we've not no bachelorette, no other bridal shower. So it was like, okay, I guess that we'll want to just do it together. So yeah, that is happening.
Although, I'm kind of thinking like bachelorette night might be even more fun.
Oh yeah.
Like, couldn't we just turn the karaoke night into like your bachelorette night?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, so what are you guys doing for your karaoke songs?
Not me, no.
Are you a singer as a theater person? I feel like the answer is yes.
So when I was doing Rocky Horror Picture Show in grad school, and I got nodes. So when I got nodes, like my singing changed.
Yeah.
In fact, it went from being decent that I could like do the belty like mezzo stuff to being like we cannot rely on her because she has that will never change. But for even though they've healed now, like it does not sound, I cannot rely on myself to like properly perform, but I will always be down to clown and get up with people for karaoke.
Right.
I don't know.
Right.
You're gonna have to have me drink like 2 glasses of wine. Mary is really reminding us that we already have a song.
The buttons.
Buttons by the Pussycat Dolls. I don't know if that's can really
It's our
happen.
theme song. It's our theme song. Yeah, we
What
can't
is our
sing
theme
that.
song?
You can't sing buttons. You cannot sing buttons.
No, you have to be like chair dancing and like,
Well, you can embody
like
Sarah's responsible for the theme song on our Instagram buttons.
I think that you can embody it. I think that that'll work.
I don't know if I'm quite that comfortable with all the Hallmark people yet.
Well, I think
Or
two
the
glasses
rom-com
of
people,
wine.
I should say.
I think 2 glasses of wine in, and you will be. So
You're gonna be doing
Like
buttons
four.
before the show. I can sing like
Probably
depressing songs like Landside, and
yes,
I could sing.
Jack.
I could sing Mika.
I don't know. I would
Grace
do
Kelly.
a good song, but I will not get up there by myself.
Well,
No.
if we do a group song, would you guys do it?
Yeah,
Like a big group.
I'll drag her up.
Like we
We're
should
going.
get all the podcasters because everybody
That would be fun.
and we
That
should do a big one group thing. Because then we know Cammie can sing.
Yes. Right. Let's go.
She
What
can
would we
really-
do as a group
Actually,
song?
would someone organize that? That sounds fun. Should we get that organized?
I feel like Sheila can take that on.
Yeah, you do a lot, but want to plan it?
Let me just do one more thing.
Is Sheila going to Drama Drama? No. Is
No,
she?
I will. You know what? I'll
Yeah,
put
we'll
up a
organize
story
it.
and I'll tag everybody.
Yeah, we'll organize it.
And let's see. I'll put like a little box in and see who.
Do we have a song choice? What's our song choice?
It can't be buttons.
It can't be. It is our theme song, but it cannot be.
It's not
buttons.
quite that appropriate.
Which
A lot
makes
of
it
these
fun.
chipmunks don't wear buttons in their Instagram posts. That is true.
No, that's
Wait,
true.
what?
You know, we didn't belong.
Yeah, that's
to,
true.
We didn't belong to anybody. We've always been a little unbuttoned.
Catherine's got it.
Catherine's got it.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot what I was gonna say.
We'll figure it out. We'll get something.
In college, it would have been Britney Spears. That's what I would sing. I would sing something Britney.
Yeah. There you go.
Now she's free, so there's no
She's free.
time.
Brittany's free.
Free
Free
Britney.
Brittany.
Free Britney.
She's free.
All right, next one because we keep. I know you need.
Where are
You're
we?
supposed to go 15 minutes ago. I feel bad. How about wine or champagne?
Champagne. I like the bubbles.
Yeah.
And I like wine. I don't drink a lot, but like wine makes me sleepy. But I like it if I like a nice wine.
Good meal with it or something.
Yes. Yes. But I like that champagne. It just makes me feel a little perky.
Yeah.
There you go. How about live theater or movie theater?
Oh wait, I already asked that one.
Don't forget it. Back up.
No, but I do like both, but yeah, live theater.
Okay. All right. I'll ask a different one. Beach or mountain?
Ooh, that's really good. I'm actually gonna say beach, but it's close.
Mm-hmm.
I get burnt really easily, but as long as I have an umbrella and sunscreen,
You're golden.
Same.
Well, Jax, thank you for coming. We're excited to have you, and I think we could talk forever and ever, but I know you needed to sign off, so I don't want to keep you any longer. But let's do it again.
Yeah.
The only reason I need to sign off is because I try and get. I was telling you guys earlier. I mean, he doesn't actually care, but Alex, I'm always like, okay, on Sunday night, and be super low key. Like, I won't be loud. Like, cause, and then I'm like, I knew if I was talking to you guys, I'm like, I will be screaming and laughing for an hour and a half. Oh no, like, it's totally fine. But I was like, I know I'll be really loud because this gal pal sesh was a long time coming.
Yes.
Yes. We're so
we can't wait
excited.
to see you in person down in Florida. That's going to be the best.
I was really happy to see that you were coming. Yeah, I'm like, all right, I'm going to try to see you that Sunday at Christmas Con. I'm like, what is it called? But I don't know if I'll get a chance to run into you. So now I know that even if I only get to say hi in December, I will see you in January.
Yeah.
So,
well, hopefully we'll get to really hang out though Christmas Con, but definitely at both.
Yeah.
But definitely at Rama Drama. I mean,
right.
I'm around both events the entire time. I'm not going to have any FOMO that weekend because I will be at every minute of the convention and the show. So
perfect. Yeah, we totally have to hang. Okay.
Well, don't hang up yet. We'll sign out and then say goodbye. So I'm gonna try it, Julie. Let's see if I can keep your hearts open and your suspenders unbuttoned. We'll see you next time.